Hey there clan, Scottish Warrior 92 here and welcome to another WION review. And today's WION review I'm going to be reviewing Highlander The Search for Vengeance. The Highlander anime. And for those that are unfamiliar with the Highlander franchise, I'm not going too much into it. I only know about the first movie. The Highlander movie, I have seen it, is a really good film in my opinion, I would highly recommend it. But unfortunately the Highlander series is one of those series that eventually, when it did get a sequel, it progressively got worse and worse and worse. If you want a recommendation, I don't have no intention of reviewing any of the Highlander movies, due to the fact that, well, everything's been said about them, and Noah and Twilight, aka the Spoony one, has done basically the best reviews of the Highlander movies. Mainly has Highlander 2 and Highlander 4, the Source review. I would recommend those because those are really, really good. But I think he has stated in a video too, he's not going to touch the Highlander anime with a 10-foot barge pole. I, on the other hand, will gladly review this. But I've got a little something, I've got a little problem. I honestly don't think I'm in the proper attire to review the Highlander anime. Anything with the Highlander name, in fact, I don't think I'm in the proper attire for it. So, if you'll give me a moment, I think it's about time I go get changed. Feel like a woman. Well, that's done. I think we'll go to the final part. There we go. Now I think I'm in the proper attire to review Highlander. Let's get right to this. Yep, there we go. Well, now that I'm in the proper attire to review the Highlander anime, why don't we dive right into this bad boy? So, let's just... Okay, so I've given you a quick synopsis of my experience with the Highlander movies. So, of course, as always, I go to the in-depths of talking about the story of the Highlander anime, aka Highlander The Search for Vengeance, or Highlander, the most generic movie title ever under subtitle, the most generic subtitle ever. And really, we're in trouble from the moment that, well, you read the back, because it's from the writer of Highlander The Source. And for those that don't know, the Highlander Source film is the worst in the Highlander series, and shall I say, I don't want to spoil how bad it is, but just go watch the Spinny Experiments review of it, and you'll see why. Basically, they go possibly the writer of the worst Highlander movie to make this. That should say a lot. So, what does the story follow? The story follows the character of Colin MacLeod. Sorry, I need to do it in this way. Colin MacLeod. Yeah, another MacLeod. Are all MacLeods immortal? Because well, that's like the fifth one by now. But yeah, we follow Colin MacLeod. I'm sorry, this is a really big pet peeve of mine. There are other Scottish names besides MacLeod. I can think of 2 or 3 or 4 off the top of my head. McGregor, Wallace, Gregor itself. And the most generic, I would say, is Wallace. We call him Colin Wallace, that'd be better. But yeah, no, we call him Colin MacLeod. And what is his main goal in this story? You're really going to ask? His main goal is his search for vengeance, which is basically the leading of the story. But there's let me tell you how they done it. Basically, he's seeking vengeance on another immortal who is Roman, who is basically the closest thing to Caesar. I think he's Caesar. Could be wrong. He's called Maximilian, I think, or Max something. I can't remember. Something Max. But there's a say on the back of this. Sorry, it's Marcus Octavius he's hunting after. Because Marcus killed his entire clan and crucified his wife on top of a hill. And his wife's dying words were, "Please promise me you will not seek vengeance." And Colin, like an absolute honourable Scotsman, says, "I promise." And then the moment she dies, "I promise I will seek vengeance." And to be perfectly honest, the rest of this fucking movie is a flashback. Like, it's set in post-apocalyptic era. It's set in a post-apocalyptic era. Like, what I told you about his past, it's a flashback, and we don't get that flashback until 25, at least 15 minutes into the movie. Which I know the Highlander series is very infamous for its flashback sequences. But there are a lot in this, by the way. But yeah, I just got another wee thing. Why does anyone who ever writes for Highlander think post-apocalyptic? I don't. Like, if I was writing a Highlander movie, I wouldn't think post-apocalyptic. I would think, well, maybe I should go in the future. But no, post-apocalyptic, where Marcus Octavius is basically the ruler of New York, and has, I'm going to be perfectly honest, probably one of the most sluttiest dressed immortals I've ever fucking seen as his bodyguard. In fact, there she is there. You'll be able to see her, but she's basically wearing a front piece with visible thong. It's anime. I deal with it. But yeah, that's the story. Colin seeks vengeance on Marcus for slaughtering his entire clan and his wife. That's the story. That's basically the story. That's the main plot of this thing. The most generic fucking story ever. But even the most generic story can always be good. However, this is not. Because throughout the movie, basically, it's nothing but... 50% of the movie is Colin going, maybe we should do something. A little bit. 50%, like, here it is. Sorry. A third of the film is Colin going, I don't give two shits, I'm just here for vengeance. Another third of the film is flashback, 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 flashback. And the final third of the film is action. I use action in the loosest possible fucking terms. It's like, there is no action. There's a couple of sword fighting scenes, but that's about it. And then there's some explosions and people getting incinerated and a giant crocodile at one point, which I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But yeah, that's the story. Yeah, I can tell you can tell I don't like the story. I'm sorry. It's just the most generic story ever. Oh, and of course, like, there's a love interest who wears a bright red miniskirt and strapless bra. And within 10 minutes of meeting her, she takes her bra off and says, fuck me. Not in those terms, but she basically goes, go on, fuck me. And then later on in the film, that she fucks him. Like, there's just nudity for the sake of nudity. There's no senses to it. They've known each other for a grand total of 5-10 minutes, and they fuck. For like 3-5 minutes. And yeah, not good. But there, that's the. I don't want to spoil the story. You can probably guess what happens. In fact, I'm pretty sure most of us could guess from the fucking title what the ending was going to be. Let's get to the other aspects of this anime. Now, to judge an anime, you have to judge the animation. How's the animation? It's decent. It's a decent part. Like, it's not the worst animation I've ever fucking seen. I mean, I've seen plenty worse. However, there are some issues with it. There's, of course, the issues with characters standing perfectly still for no fucking reason. And which their facial expression... And by the way, Colin has 2 facial expressions. It's, and, Yeah, he literally barely smiles in this. In fact, he has a brood on his face the entire fucking time. He's kind of like Kirsten Stewart, only he actually does do emotion every now and then. Yeah, but the animation's decent. I don't have much else to say on it. There are some problems with it. There's a lot of like fast blurring moments to like compensate for a few things, but overall, the animation's decent. Voice acting. Oh my god, the voice acting. I thought I had seen worst voice acting in hentai, but for fuck's sake. Like, the voice actors in this, there's 1 or 2 recognisable ones. I can't place them, but there are 1 or 2 recognisable ones. Especially from the love interest, I use that loosely. She sounds really familiar. I can't place her though, unfortunately. However, the rest of the cast is like one or two sub-cast members are decent, but the main cast is horrible. Like Colin himself, I swear he has one tone throughout the film, even when he's angry or upset, which is rare, or pissed off, or anything. And also, of course, the Highlander doesn't have a Scottish accent. Well, he does in his flashback momentarily, but it's probably one of the worst Scottish accents I've heard in a long time. I mean, how hard is it to get this accent? This is a Scottish accent. If you want to go a little Highlander, you have to go up high. Like, I can't really do it too well, because I end up having to start singing, you take the high road, and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland afore you. I have to do that to get the Scottish accent. But it's not that fucking hard. Now I sound a wee bit Irish. Irish and Scottish accents, you always get them mixed up. Even I get them mixed up. But for fuck's sake, how hard is it to hire a Scottish voice actor? I'm pretty sure there's plenty of them out there. Or at least get a guy who can do a decent Scottish accent. Fuck, I've heard worse, but it's one of the worst guys ever. Like, I know the Highlander series has had this thing where they have Scottish protagonists who don't have Scottish accents. Now, for an immortal, I can understand that, but when they flash back, the Scottish accent's so bad, you're like, that's definitely fake. At least it isn't as bad as Highlander, where he does flashback, he still doesn't have a Scottish fucking accent. Aye. Hey, Zibba. How fucking hard does it get this? Yeesh. But yeah, voice acting's really bad in this. Like, the only good one for me personally was Marcus, mainly because you can tell the voice actor is portraying his character is taking pleasure in everything. And I do mean everything. I mean, watching someone getting killed, he's like, yes, it's very entertaining. From banging his hot samurai ninja bondage girlfriend / bodyguard, he's like, yes, I will definitely enjoy giving you what you need, and I shall take immense pleasure in it, but not as much as pleasure you will endure, my dear. Yeah, he was decent. At least he was bearable, and it was fun watching him do that. But the rest of the cast, even like his bondage girlfriend, really, she was like, oh god. I was listening to it, I was like, oh Jesus Christ, that's bad. But yeah, voice acting is not the strongest part. It's probably the weakest part. What else? Music, of course, you have to talk about the music in an anime. It's nothing to mention about it. Luckily enough, they don't have Queen. Like, thank fucking God, Queen decided, the people who owed the rights to Queen said, you know what, you've kind of fucked us over with Highlander 1. Highlander 1, we accepted it, we enjoyed the fucking movie, you get it. Highlander 2, you've dicked us over. Highlander 3, fuck you. Highlander 4, God Jesus, give us the rights back. Highlander, this does not have, thank God this doesn't have, we are the princes of the universe. It doesn't have it. Thank fucking God. The music in this is stock. I mean, I don't know if it's stock footage. Sorry, stock music, but it's stock beyond belief. I was like, oh God, is this stock fucking music? Which is common in decent budget animes and all this stuff. But let's get to the burning question. Is Highlander The Search for Vengeance worth it? If you can't fucking tell, hell no! This is about as worth it as getting a claymore cutting my dick off. I would not recommend this for anyone. I personally would not. Unless you're a die hard Highlander fan, you'll probably want to avoid this like the plague. I wouldn't even recommend it for a die-hard anime fan either. This is probably, I found this in the bargain bin for $2.50, and even then, it's not worth it. It's like, if you're interested, go buy it. But in all honesty, hell to the fucking no, not worth the penny. And really, can you blame it? It's got nothing to hide. Oh fuck. I really don't know what to do with this now. Hang on. Ugh. I know what to do with it. There can be only one! There we go. Very satisfying, don't you think? I'm Scotch 482. Fuck this movie.